Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show, our late summer warmish weather continues. It's going to be rain free for quite a while. We have mostly calm weather across the United States, and of course, Tropical Storm Francine, which is forecast to become a hurricane later today. We'll see what it does as they check it out with reconnaissance aircraft this morning. So we'll look forward to the Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. And as I just said, except for the tropical storm and hurricane warnings that are up for the Louisiana coast, as well as a few counties in southeast Texas, and the tropical storm warnings in eastern portions and southeastern portions of Louisiana, the rest of the country is really enjoying relatively quiet weather. We've got some fire weather watch issues up in parts of the Northwest, along with red flag warnings that are up there. But overall, it is a calm time, which is actually fairly typical for September weather patterns. You check out the U.S. satellite loop. We've got another nice day getting ready to get underway from Maine down into northern Georgia and across the deep south. The cloud cover from Francine is moving into southern Louisiana at the moment. Most of the main convection remains to the south. And notice, by the way, as far as the circulation is concerned, that it's become a bit disjointed overnight. Some drier air has been coming in to the circulation. So we've got a breakaway area of convection that's moving away to the northeast. The core of the circulation remains just to the southeast of Brownsville. We are seeing some bursting of convection, so it looks like perhaps it's trying to reorganize here. It's going to take a little bit of time. And there's, as I said, there's Air Force reconnaissance aircraft en route to investigate to see what exactly is going on here. And as of the latest advisory at 7 a.m., 24.5 north, 95.9 west. Really hasn't moved very much during the overnight. Maximum sustained winds are at 65 miles an hour. The present movement is north at 5. And you can see a turn forecast to the northeast, becoming a hurricane later today, and a landfall along the Louisiana coast sometime during Wednesday afternoon, eventually tracking northward up right along pretty much the Mississippi River into eventually into northeastern Arkansas and southeastern Missouri by Saturday morning. The good news is I always get questions about this sort of stuff when it comes to the remnant impacts to the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic states. This time around ain't going to happen, folks. The weather pattern is just not going to be able to allow this system to move northeastward and bring rains to the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Radars are quiet along the East Coast. You can see the core circulation is visible from the Brownsville radar with some heavy rains in southeastern Texas. Also seeing some showery rains on the radar as of 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, moving into southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. To the north, in the upper Mississippi Valley and in parts of the northern plains, we've got some showers and a few thunderstorms. Storm Prediction Center for today has only a small area of marginal risk along the south coast of Louisiana. Now, for tomorrow, Wednesday, with the potential hurricane moving ashore, we have a marginal to slight risk of severe weather indicated for southeast Louisiana, southeastern half of Louisiana, particularly the area down closer to the coast and along the Gulf Coast where the risk is elevated to slight risk. The tornado risk is there too, as well, 2 to 5% tornado risk. We also have a marginal risk up into parts of the western Dakotas, Montana, and back over into Idaho. Heavy rains of, let's call it 6 inches plus, going to fall in Louisiana, into Mississippi, 3 to 6 inches, perhaps further north as you head up into central and northern Mississippi, and closer to 3 or 4 inches as you move into western Tennessee and into southernmost Illinois, southeast Missouri, and western Kentucky. Notice Maine down through New Jersey and Pennsylvania, no precipitation being forecast for the next 7 days. Starts to pick up a bit as you head into North Carolina and points southward, where we're seeing anywhere from, say, 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half plus. An area of heavy rain for northeastern Georgia, western, south, and North Carolina. And then, of course, you've got the rains from Francine. In the northwest, we're looking at 3/4 of an inch to an inch and a half plus in the northern Rockies, and a half to 3/4 of an inch indicated in the Pacific Northwest. So while Francine does its thing, high pressure, a sprawling high in the eastern part of the United States, and the high is going to basically move out and then reform on land again, on and off over the next 5 or 6 days. So that pretty much leaves the Northeast, the Mid Atlantic, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes out of harm's way with respect to rainfall from Francine or just rainfall altogether, right through the rest of the week and into the weekend. The flow is going to be a bit onshore-ish from southern New Jersey south. Temperatures are going to warm up, but they're going to take their time getting there. And as we've been emphasizing the last few days, humidity levels are going to be very stubborn to climb because all the tropical moisture is basically trapped in areas to the south. And you can see the remnant low of Francine moving up through Mississippi into western Tennessee and eastern Arkansas, and then it just dies out. The leftover rains will continue in parts of the Tennessee Valley and southeast, but they ultimately get shunted south because another high pressure builds in over the weekend and into early next week. So you're looking for rain, and I'm taking the GFS out through at least the middle part of next week. We don't see any of that rain at all, any rain at all, coming up the eastern seaboard. So we're in a dry, warm pattern for the most part that also, for the most part, is going to be reasonably comfortable. So we'll cover it all tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. That's at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you then.